leapfrog your way to the front.
And as you look at the front of this field, you see nothing but Fords. They have dominated in qualifying here. They've done really well winning a lot of stages. Also, they just haven't been able to finish the race and win in victory lane. A couple times Joey Logano's done that, but that's going to be the key to the races. Can the Fords not only control the race, but also get themselves to victory lane?
Look at the numbers there and what's happened since we went to this draft configuration in Atlanta.
Yeah, you see the stage wins, laps led. They really are really strong here, but it seems like when it really comes down to taking the high risks, everybody's game and somebody else finds their way to victory lane. So we'll see.
The champ, Joey Logano, starts on the pole. Next to him, Josh Berry. It's race day in the ATL. NASCAR on TNT is back. We're glad you're with us on this Saturday night. Here we go.
Green, green.
Joe Logano getting some great help to get clear from his teammate. He's going to jump in front of Josh Berry on that outside line. Now the 22 of Logano and Josh Berry are clear. Which teammate do they jump in front of? Cindric up high, Blaney down low.
It seems simple, but that was a perfect example of why Logano's so good. Instantly, he knows it's about what's happening behind. He picks up that push and now easily controls the race.
Look at that orange number 6 outside lane. That was Brad Keselowski trying to make a move, jump up inside the top 5. There he is looking for 4th alongside Blaney.
Haley squeezed in the middle back there. These straightaways are pretty wide, corners narrow. The straightaways invite you to get in a spot you shouldn't be when you get to the end of the front stretch, especially here, the end of the dogleg Dale. The track kind of turns left. There's a lot of room to just turn left that you see Blaney kind of hanging a right.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for contact down the front straightaway. Everybody has a bit of a different interpretation of where they need to be, what line they need to run down the front straightaway. Saw some issues in the Xfinity race last night because of the side drafting and contact. Brad Keselowski trying to hang tough on the outside of Blaney. Keeps continuing to get the run to be able to stay on that outside of the 12. Blaney would love to get clear to join the other Penske cars in that front line. Those 3 cars out front. Yep. Brad's got the help on the high side here, Adam. Looks like his teammate, the 60 Priest, is now behind the 6 car.
I loved your line in the drone map, a supercomputer. That's what the drivers needed to have, and you see instantly why. Every movement has to be just more precise and more committed is what I would say. If you're going to change lanes, you have to change them. You can't kind of nudge your way over.
Mentioned Priest, another one of the Fords up there. Behind him, 38, Zane Smith, looking for victory for the first time this year. 41, Cole Custer. That team has been performing at a high level lately. And right behind him, the 5 of Kyle Larson, a driver that doesn't always enter the conversation when we're racing in the draft. Won a stage here earlier this year, and they're getting closer and closer to winning at this style.
Well, he got out of the car the last time they raced at Atlanta and said, I had a lot of fun. That's the attitude. When you start having fun at these races, that's when they start going well. Brad Keselowski still on the outside of the 12. Can't seem to get clear. They can't really get to the back bumper of that 6 and give him the momentum. The 60 gets close, but then loses a little bit of aero grip, gets a little tight, has to come out of the gas. Brad's just barely hanging on that side draft, and here comes the 41 that'll push the 12 clear. Blaney is clear. Will he take the line away from the 6?
Still clear. You can guard a little bit.
Top 4, now top 5, nose to tail at the front. Blaney slides in line. There's Keselowski behind him. And now it's the 60 of Priest, 41 of Custer side by side.
I'm watching as a driver. I'm seeing the outside line continue to prevail. So I'm be a little bit worried about being in the inside line. They don't have the numbers as well. They're about 1 car down on the inside line. That 41 hanging on the inside of the 60 there. Cole Custer, they had a great run over the past couple of weeks, showing a little bit of speed. Been a tough year for that 41. You see that 5 jump in the outside line, that's what he's seeing. He's like, hey, we're losing numbers on the inside line. I might jump to the top here. Now he's back to the bottom of 38. Anderson and Cole down there by themselves. Here comes the 48, a teammate, Bowman, to the bottom of the racetrack. We see a little bit more gap between the cars, too, than we traditionally do at this racetrack. And I mentioned how this place may be losing a little bit of grip, kind of returning toward that old Atlanta that we're so used to, more abrasive. And that might be why these guys are starting to see a little bit of space between them. Marty.
Dale, with Roger Penske in the house, you couldn't draw it up better for Team Penske. Qualified 1 through 4. Right now, 1 through 4 on the track. And Junior had a very interesting conversation with Joey Logano before the race on their theory of why they want to lock out top 4 spots if they can. And he told me he thinks it's a bigger advantage here at Atlanta if they can run 1 through 4 than it is Daytona or Talladega. He said single file or double file. Do you agree with Joey's take on that? That when they can run 1 through 4 as Team Penske, they can control the field a little bit better.
Absolutely. They're in a really, really good spot. And again, I think this racetrack is going to be more difficult, balance-wise, more uncomfortable for the drivers. We ride on board here. You can hear the guys lifting out the gas just a little bit right there.
So, Dale, check this out. Looking back at Denny Hamlin, I'm going to draw right here and give you some things. Watch these eyes right here. Watch what he does. Maybe. So the mirror you see on the upper left, this is the carbon fiber mirror, but down in this direction, down here, there's a screen. It's his rear view camera. Just watch. First of all, I don't think he's blinked since we've been on board. I mean, look how wide those eyes are. But then just watch. He will look down to his right, up to the mirror, over and over and over again. Every lap, every corner exit.
Also listen to him lifting out of the gas.
Clear high.
Back here in the dirty air at the back of the pack, not confident to drive that car down in the corner full throttle. Got the telemetry right there at the top of the screen. Rolls a little bit out of the throttle right there.
That's the magic, is the minimum speed. I know 185. We go to tracks we run 200, so it's not the top speed. It's in the middle of the corner. You're still running 180. That's what makes this racing so crazy.
Got Hamlin back there.
Yeah, I just think we're going to see a little bit of a different type of a race than we expected because the cars just aren't handling quite as well, don't have quite the grip that they're used to. Now, as it gets cooler, we get later into the night, that's going to improve somewhat, but you can already see this field starting to space out just a little bit. We're going to have cars that handle really good and cars that are going to really struggle here in another 10 or 15 laps.
Joey Logano qualified on the pole. He's led the first 12. In fact, he's led the last 6 races here in Atlanta. Top 5, Logano, Berry, Cindric, Blaney, and Zane Smith.